Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Welcome the students of A level in my class. Our first chapter is motion in a circle. We will discuss this chapter a lot. In the way, please now look what is a circular motion first. Look at the diagram, please. Circular motion is our first article. Nothing more than that, my dear student. It's a very simple. When a body moves in a circle, its motion is called as circular motion. Look at this one. The motion of the car is circular motion. Motion of, look at this one, different electrons are moving around the nucleus, then their motion is called as circular motion. When this wheel moves, its motion is called as circular motion. So there is no need to think more than that. When you move in a circle, your motion is called as circular motion. Look at the definition, please. When a body moves along a circular path, then its motion is called as a circular motion. This will be 2 marks definition included in your syllabus. There is no need to give the examples. If you want to give the example, there are a bundle of examples. You can give motion of a wheel, motion revolves around the electrons revolve around the nucleus, so many. When a car turns in a circular track, its motion is called as circular motion. Nothing more than that. Now, it is our first definition, and I think so that you are able to understand this one in a better way. Look at this one. The second article is in our syllabus is angular displacement. This is important. This is, you can understand this one in a better way if you first understand the linear motion. We always discuss the linear motion. Look at this one, my dear students. Let's say linear motion. Linear motion. Okay. When we move along a straight line, our motion is called as linear motion. Look at this one. If we move like this, then our motion is called as motion along a straight line. This is a linear motion, and we represent this with, always D, and its unit. Its unit is meter. Yes, meter is the unit for linear motion. We always discuss, when we say the motion of the body, it is always linear motion. If there is another motion, that's the angular motion. For angular motion, we must along a circular track. And when we move from this point to this point, this is the arc length. We move along a curved surface. Then the angle which is made at the center of the circle is called as angular displacement. Look at this one. What is angular displacement? Nothing more than that, my dear student. Just it is the angle turned by the particle from one point to the other. Look here. When you start here and end here, what is the angle? Let's say 30 degree, 40 degree, 60 degree, whatever. Maybe this is your angular displacement. Look at this one. Second definition is the better. The angle subtended. Subtended mean made. You can use the word made. The angle made or suspended at the center of the circle by an arc. Look at this one. What this called? This called arc. This is arc. What this called? This is called arc. The angle made at the center of the circle by an arc, nothing but along which particle moves, is called its angular displacement. Nothing more than that. If I say what is the difference between linear motion and angular motion, you should say that it is the motion along a straight line. When the motion along a straight line, it is a linear motion. When motion along a curved surface, it is called as a angular motion. Now, what is linear distance? Linear distance is the distance along a straight line. And what is angular displacement? The angle turned by the body from one point to the other. This angle is called as angular displacement. And look here, what is this? What is this? This is called as linear displacement, mind you. This is linear displacement. This is angular displacement. Nothing more than that. Its unit is meter, please. Its unit is meter. And what about this? Its unit for angular displacement. G please. That's angle is made in by two ways, in degrees and in radians. But in our syllabus and in SI unit, it is a radians. It is radians, not the degrees. Then what is the difference between degree and radian? It is our next article. I think so. I'm going to bend forward. Look at, please. Now, you know, G, please look at this one. Difference between degree and radian. Keep one thing in your mind, my dear student. Degree is not in our syllabus, but the radian is in our syllabus. But we compare them. We compare them in order to understand this one in a better way. Look at this one, please. Look the circle, please. Look the circle, please. This is a circle. Okay. Now you divide this circle into equal 360 parts. Look at this one. Let's say this is 1, 2, 3, and now here are 90. There are 90 parts of this one. Then again 90, and this is, you know that, 180. Again divide circumference, and this is now up to 270. Everyone knows it very well. And this is one is 360 R simple. 360 R simple, the 0. Now, the angle made at the center of the circle by each part. Look at this one. This is, let's say, suppose this is the one part. Angle made at the center of the circle by each part is called as 1 degree. This is called as 1 degree. This is called as 1 degree. This is 1 degree angle. It means that when angle made at the center of the circle by parts, by 1 part, 2 part, 2 degree, 3 part, 3 degree, 90 part, 90 degrees, then this is called as a degrees. What is the difference between now degree? You know that degree it is angle made by the parts. Degree it is angle made by the parts. But now come towards our syllabus. In our syllabus is the radian. What is the difference now? Look at this one. My dear student, again, look it's a circle, please. Look the circle. Okay. Now you should move like this, my dear student. From, let's say, the radius of this circle is 2 centimeter or 3 centimeter. You should move by this from this to this. Okay. And this distance must be arc length represented by S. It should be equal to R. Mean it is, let's say, 2 centimeter. This arc length should also be 2 centimeter. Then the angle, this one is called as 1 radian, my dear students. Look the difference, please. Difference. 1 radian is the angle made at the center of the circle by an arc whose length is equal to the radius of the circle. Simple. Look at this one. The angle made at the center of the circle by an arc whose radius is equal to the radius of the circle is called as 1 radian, my dear student. Yeah, the arc length, if arc length is R, then the angle is 1 radian. If you, my dear students, if you see the past paper, you see this definition repeated many times in your exams. So, very simple. What is radian? It is the angle made at the center of the circle by an arc, whose radius is equal to the radius of the circle. Then this angle is called as 1 radian, nothing more than that. And look one comparison. I'm going to tell, although it is not our in syllabus, but for your more clearance of the lecture. Look at this one. Look at this. If arc length is R, then what should be the angle? Look at this one. It should be 1 radians. And look here. If it is 2R, it is 2R. Then what should be the angle? This is 2 radians. Okay, very clear. Against 1R, it is 1 radian. Against 2R, it is 2 radians. And look at this one, so on. If let's say s equal to 2 pi. Look at this one, 2 pi r. Then what will be the angle, please? This is 2 pi. This is 2 pi radian. Okay, sequence, you know, sequence about this 1, 1, 2, 2 pi r, pi, 2 pi, 2 pi, 2 pi radians. Okay, now look at what is 2 pi r? It is the, you know that in O level classes, what is 2 pi r? It is the circumference of the circle. Total from this to this, total length is 2 pi r. And in 2 pi r, how many degrees? 360 degrees. Okay. It means that 360 degree is equal to 2 pi radians. Look at this. Look at this, please. If you need 1 degree, if you need 1 degree, divide 2 pi with the 360 radians. Look at this one. It is the relation to convert degree into radians. It will be pi over 180 radians. Look, my dear students. Look, my dear students. 1 degree equal to pi over 180 degree. And if you need this relation, my dear students, will help you in your numericals, please. In your numericals. And if you need 1 radians, please. 1 radian, from 1 radian, 180 is multiplied by like this, and pi in the denominator, and this will be equal to degrees. Look at this one. Compare this one. 1 radian equal to 180 degree divided by pi degree. Look at this one. And this one, if you need the degree, pi over 180 degree is multiplied with the radians. Please, that's strongly not in our syllabus, but I think so you should know all about these, please. Now, let's move towards our next article. And next article is very important. Actually, the physics chapter start from here. Angular velocity. Before the start of angular velocity, please you tell me about what is linear velocity. What is, look at this one, linear velocity. Okay, it means that for linear velocity we must need linear displacement. Okay, very clear. Linear displacement over times. Very clear, my dear students. Linear velocity, linear displacement over times. What is linear velocity? It is v. Okay. What is linear displacement? It is d. Very clear. And time t. You know it very well in O levels. In O levels, we always discuss the linear velocity. But what is angular velocity? Angular velocity is the velocity when we move along a circular path. In this case, we move in a straight line. But in our, for angular velocity, we should move in a angle. We should move in a circular path. Look at this one. Look, angular velocity. Okay. In case of angular velocity, what we need? Linear displacement? No. We need angular displacement. Displacement, my dear student. Angular displacement. Okay. Or divided by time. So always remains the same. Okay. Now, what is the notation for linear velocity? It is v. And for angular velocity, it is a Greek letter. Look at this one, omega. Not w, rounded. This is the rounded. This is called as omega, Greek letter. And what is the angular displacement? You know it very well. This is a theta. You know, in the previous lecture, we discussed it. And time is t. Look, very, very important equation for your numericals, please. There are 3 variables, 1, 2, and 3. And he will give you 2. He will give you this or this in order to calculate the third one. Okay, look at this one. What is angular velocity? Omega equal to theta over t. Omega equal to theta over t. Omega equal to, look at this one, omega. This is omega. And what is the definition of angular velocity? Rate of change of angular displacement. And in case of linear velocity, rate of change of linear displacement, my dear students. If we say rate of change of linear displacement, what we get? Linear velocity. And if we say rate of change of angular displacement, what we get? Angular velocity. And what is the symbol? Again, look at this one. Omega equal to theta over t. What is omega equal to theta over t? And now, Let's move towards its unit. Look at what is its unit, please. Everyone knows meter per second. Okay. And what about this? What about this? What is, look, what is the unit for angular displacement? Yes, angular displacement in the previous lecture, it is in radians. It is in radians and time is always in second. Look at this one. Radian per second is the unit for angular velocity. I am again going to revise, my dear students. What is angular velocity? The rate of change of angular displacement is called as angular velocity, and formula for angular velocity is omega equal to theta over t, and its unit is radian per second. There is no need to understand more than that. There is no need to understand more than that, my dear students. Now look the next article. There's a very, very important, and derivation is in our syllabus. V equal to r omega. This is, look at this one. This is the relation between velocity, radius, and angular velocity. Very, very important for your numericals. And derivation is in the syllabus. Look at this one. Derivation in your syllabus, and it will be of 2 or 3 marks. Look at this one. We are going to drive it, please. You should note these one on your copies. Look at this one, please. As we know, as I should change the color. As you know, arc length is directly proportional to the angle. Okay. If you increase the arc length, look at this one. If you increase the arc length, angle will be increased. And you know that S equalize, so there should be a constant. Radius of the circle is always remains the constant. This is also the equation for your numericals. S equal to r theta. What is S? This is the arc length. What is r? It is the radius. What is theta? It is the angle. Now please divide. If we change the arc length, radius remains the same, but there is a change in the angle because the arc length is related to angle. When we change the angle, arc length will be changed, and when you change the arc length, angle will be changed. Look at this one. Look, I give you the example. Look at this. This is a circle, okay. This is a circle, okay. And look at this one. This is the center. What is this? Look at this one. This is the angle, okay. What is this? This is arc length. If we increase the arc length, angle will be increased. If we decrease the arc length, angle will be decreased, but radius remains the same. Okay. Now please divide by delta theta, or simply you can divide it by delta t. Divide it by delta t. Look at delta S divided by delta t equal to r delta theta over delta t. Okay, why this one? We want to derive V, and V is S over t. V equal to S over t. Look at when you derive anything, you say the time is very short. Limit, L-I-M-I-T, limit delta t approaches to 0 means. This is the reason for this is that if we want to derive any equation, we derive it for a short time. If any equation is correct for short time, it will be correct for all the large times. You write this one. Otherwise, he will deduct 1 marks to you. Now look at this one. What is S over t? This is the simple velocity. Okay. What is r means as it is? What is theta over t? You know that. You know that. What is the omega? Omega equal to theta over t, my dear students. And look at this one. Theta, change in angular displacement over change in time. This is omega. That's the derivation completed. Just look at this one. Just 1, 2, 3 steps. And he will give you 3 marks for that. He will give you 3 marks for that. If you have any question, you can ask and raise your hands. I will give you the chance if you have any question. And if you have no question, then it means you can understand all these very well. Now, look, next one, please. G, please. First, we clear all. Then, next is very important. Look, very interesting. Look, very interesting animation. What is this? Something is moving along that. Look at if this is a circle. If this is a circle and along which a body is moving. and the stone, let's say it is a stone and attached to the string, and string is with the hand. Which one is responsible the motion of this circular motion? A force which is provided by the hand. It means that nobody can move in a circle without any force. Look at this one. This is the sun. This is the earth. Earth revolving around the sun by a force that's called as gravitational force. Right? You call that gravity. And look at this one. Moon is revolving around the earth. This is also due to gravitational force. It means that there is a certain force which keeps the body in a circular path. If this force is removed, circular motion is not there. It means the force which compels the body to move in a circle is called as circular motion. When, my dear students, when you see the past paper, you see this definition repeated many times in your syllabus. What is centripetal force? Simply, when a body moves in a circle, force required to keep it moving in a circular path is called as centripetal force. And look at this one, always directed towards the center of the circle. Always directed towards the, look at this, this hand is pulling the body towards center of the circle. This sun is pulling the earth towards center of the circle. And this earth is pulling the moon towards the center of the circle. A force which compels the body, it should move in a circle, then that force is called as circular centripetal force. A force which responsible its motion in a circle is called as centripetal force. Now look please. Now its equation is, its equation is, look its equation. That's the its equation is, there is no need to derive this equation. This equation is just we will use in our numerical mv square over r. You have some experience of it in O levels as well. F equal to mv square over r, F equal to mv square over r, revise and memorize it. What is, it's the mass which moving in, and v with what velocity, look at this, with what velocity it is moving, and r is the radius. Mv square over r, mv square, and what is this? Look at this. What is this? I tell you, you know that, you look at this, you know that v equal to r omega, v equal to r omega in the previous lecture, v equal to r omega, okay. Put this value over here, what happens please? What happens please? M as it is, and this is r omega whole square, and this is r. M as it is, this is r square, omega square, r as it is. This r cancelled with this square. Then what is this? M r omega square. Very, very important numerical equation for your numericals. When you see the past paper, you see many numerical repeated which are solved with the help of which equation? Centripetal force equal to m r omega square. What is F? Centripetal force. What is m? Mass. What is r? Radius of the circle. What is omega? Angular velocity. Angular velocity. If he require angular velocity, he must give you radius of the circle, mass of the body, and the centripetal force. There are 4 unknowns. He will give you 3 if he needs a 4th one. Again, I'm going to revise, my dear student. What is in your syllabus? In your syllabus is just the definition. A force which keeps the body in a circular path is called as centripetal force, and always towards the center of the circle. Nothing more than that. And what are the equation? M v square over r and m r omega square. I think so there is no need to stay here more because it is very simple. Now look the next one, centripetal acceleration. You know that under centripetal acceleration, look at this, under centripetal force is always under centripetal force, because F equal to mv. Under centripetal force there should be a centripetal acceleration, and you know that centripetal force is always towards the center of the circle, then acceleration must always towards the center of the circle. Okay, now look this one. I'm going to draw the circle again. Look for you, please. This is a circle symbol, and look here. This is you know that centripetal force towards the center of the circle, and you know F equal to m. It means acceleration should also be towards the center of the circle. If force is towards the center of the circle, acceleration must also be towards the center of the circle. You know that? Yes. In AS level and O levels, you know that second law of motion F equal to ma. Okay, very clear. You place here C, you place it for centripetal force. You know, in the previous lecture, what is FC? This is mv square over r. Yes, you clear it. And what is now centripetal? This cancelled with this. What is the equation for centripetal acceleration? Just only v square over r. Look at here. Look at here. AC is V square over R. AC is equal to V square over R. I'm going to repeat AC equal to V square or very good equation, very important equation, very excellent equation for your numericals. Now look, what is this now? What about this? Look here. Put the value of a linear velocity. You know that what is V in the previous lecture? This is R omega. Okay. Put here. This is R, this is omega, and this is square as it is. R. Then please r square omega square over r, and that's a cancelled with it. Then what is AC? This is r omega square. Look at this. That's approved. That's also very important equation for your numericals. What is in your syllabus in this page? Just you should memorize what you should memorize. Number one, acceleration equal to centripetal acceleration is equal to v square over r, and centripetal acceleration second equation is r omega square. And next, what is centripetal force? This is mv square over r. And what is the next centripetal force? This is m r omega square. That's your A levels. That's your A levels. My dear students, if you have any question, you can raise your hands. You can raise your hand. I will give you the chance. I am giving you the chance to question. Thank you very much. Inshallah Ta'ala, I revise this lecture next time and start from the same points. Thank you very much, my dear students. Thank you very much.